Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new. My name is Hallie and I'm so happy that you're here. In today's video, we're going to be going over all the books I hope to read in November, aka my soft TBR. I feel like soft TBRs just work better for me. They're a list of books that I think I'm going to be in the mood for and that I really would like to read, but I just can't handle the pressure of like a defined solid I have to read these TBR. I like to look at it more of like a suggestion list made for myself by myself. That's the mindset I'm going into this for. I'm really excited for all these books, and these are all books that I really think that I'm going to be in the mood for in the month of November, in the midst of just the coziest season of the year, honestly. So I'm really excited to tell you guys a little bit about all the books that I have chosen for my November TBR. But before we get into that, I want to really quickly thank Book of the Month for sponsoring today's video. So if you don't already know what Book of the Month is a monthly book subscription service that has the best prices on new release hardcover fiction. And their mission is to bring the best new fiction forward. Obviously on this channel we already know I love Book of the Month. I talk about them all the time and we've worked together many times before this, and I am also personally subscribed to Book of the Month as well. Basically how Book of the Month works is every single month there are new curated picks that are chosen by their editorial team after they have read through hundreds of new and emerging authors. And if there's ever a month where none of the book options are catching your eye, you can skip any month free of charge. On top of all of this, if you would prefer to listen to your book pick instead, Book of the Month does offer audiobooks in addition to the hardcovers. So every single month you're able to choose whether you would prefer to do the audiobook or the hardcover for that month. And this month when you join, you can get your first book for just $9.99 with the code FEAST. Also, as the holiday season is very quickly approaching and we're all trying to figure out what gifts we are going to get for everybody, what better gift is there than the gift of a book subscription box? Book of the Month now has gifting options where you can gift someone 3, 6, or even 12 months of their book subscription service. And every gift purchased throughout the holiday season comes with a free hat for the recipient as well. If you end up in a spot, like I often do, where you are stressed out because you need a last minute gift, Book of the Month does also have instant delivery options for the book subscription gifting as well. So that's also kind of the perfect solution if you're in a pinch and you need a last minute gift and you don't have time to wait for anything to get delivered. You can get it all done right there with the instant delivery. So for this month, the two books that I picked are, first of all, An Academic Affair. This literally looks so cute. So the synopsis of this one says, Sadie Shaw and Jonah Fisher have been academic rivals since they first crossed paths as undergraduates in the literature department 15 years ago. In the cutthroat world of academia, opportunities are scarce and competition is ruthless. Thrust into professional uncertainty, they'll both do anything to find some stability. So when a highly coveted teaching position comes up, their rivalry hits epic proportions. Jonah needs the job to move closer to his recently divorced sister and her children, while Sadie needs the financial security and freedom of a full-time teaching position. Once Sadie notices that the university offers partner hire, however, she hatches a plot to get them both the job. All they need to do is get legally married. It's a simple win-win solution. But when sparks begin to fly, it becomes clear that despite their education, these two may not have thought this whole thing through. I just feel like that's such a cute concept for a fake marriage, and I'm really excited about this one. And then the second book that I chose is called Violet Thistlethwaite is Not a Villain. And first of all, the cover of this one is just so cute. So the synopsis for this one says, Guy Shadowfade is dead, and after a lifetime as the Dark Sorcerer's right hand, Violet Thistlethwaite is determined to start over. Not as the fearsome Thorn Witch, but as someone kind, someone better, and someone good. The quaint town of Dragon's Rest, Violet decides, will be her second chance. She'll set down roots, open a flower shop, keep her sentient, mildly homicidal houseplant in check, and prune dark magic from the twisted boughs of her life. Violet's vibrant bouquets and cheerful enchantments soon charm the welcoming townsfolk, though nothing seems to impress the prickly yet dashingly handsome Nathaniel Marsh, an alchemist sharing her greenhouse. With a struggling business and his own second chance seemingly out of reach, Nathaniel has no time for flowers or frippery, and certainly none for the intriguing witch next door. When a mysterious blight endangers every living plant in Dragon's Rest, Violet and Nathaniel must work together, through their fears, past, and growing feelings for each other to save their community. But with a figure from her previous life knocking at her door and her secrets threatening to uproot everything she's worked so hard to grow, Violet can't help but wonder, does a former villain truly deserve a happily ever after? That just sounds so cute. So, like I said, if you are also interested in trying out Book of the Month, you can click the link in my description box or visit bookofthemonth.com and use the code FEAST to get your first book for just $9.99. Like I said, everything that you need is down in the description box below, and thank you so much again to Book of the Month for sponsoring this portion of today's video. To get into the rest of my November sauce, soft. TBR. The first book that I have is Soul Searching by Lila Sage. I am so excited about this. First of all, this was one of the book options for our book club pick. We had 4 different options and this one didn't end up winning, but I still want to read it because I think it sounds so good. I think I really like Lila Sage's writing. I've only read one of her books, but I remember really enjoying it. But I'm interested to kind of read a different type of book from her because the one that I have read was like a small town cowboy romance, and this is just like small town, and also I think a little bit, it's not a paranormal romance, but like the girl can talk to ghosts. Basically, the story is about a girl who is traveling back home to her small town because she is just failing financially, but she's using her parents like needing her to help and come take care of their like small family business kind of as an excuse to come back. Like she's kind of hiding the fact that she actually isn't as successful off on her own as she hoped that she would be, and she's like hiding it from her family, and basically her whole family thinks that she's just like being so selfless and taking time off of work to come home and help the family business, because I think the family business is like trying to be bought out by a bigger company or something. So yeah, she's kind of using that as a cover to come back home, but she needs a place to stay whenever she gets there, so she ends up renting out the room above this like upholsterer shop from this guy who's like an upholsterer. I thought that in the premise of this, it was so funny because when it's talking about her, it's talking about how she's like been able to see ghosts her whole life, and like when she gets back to this town, there's like something wrong with the ghosts, or like they're not all showing up or something, but then it switches to like him and he instantly is like, the girl upstairs is crazy, like she just talks to herself all day. Meanwhile, it's like her talking to ghosts, and I think that that is so funny. I actually started this and one other of the books actually that are on my November TBR on a live stream today, so I have read the first 1 chapter of this book, and let me tell you, the way that the 2 main characters meet each other is so funny. It's just like a little bit unhinged, but I think it's so funny, so I'm really excited to get farther into this one and see about it. Plus the cover, it's so cute. So that is the first book on our little November TBR. I'm so excited for this one. To get into the next book that I did start on the Reading Sprints live stream today as well, Bride by Ali Hazelwood. Some of you are going to be so excited about this because I started this, honestly, how long ago was that? Was that like a year and a half? It feels like forever ago. And I just think that it wasn't the right time for this book. Like I'm such a mood reader that like if I'm not in a mood for a book, like I physically cannot make myself interested in it and I can't make myself read it. And I think that that was the case for this book, but I have been putting off reading it because when I picked it up, I was like feeling bored, and then I felt disappointed because so many people were loving that book, and I think that that has just kind of scared me away. But on the reading sprint earlier today, I did decide to just give it a try and like see if the vibes are different, like see if it was the book or if it was me, and I fear it was me, because tell me why, I just finished the prologue and I was like, how was I bored? Like this is so good already. So I'm really excited to get into this and like finally feel actually excited to read it and not like scared to read it, or like I don't feel as much skepticism that I'm going to be disappointed by this book anymore. So I'm really excited. If you don't know what this is about, this is a paranormal romance between a vampire and a werewolf who are in a arranged marriage for political reasons. There's like a rivalry going on between the werewolves and the vampires, and so they get married to like try to have a peace treaty. So that's what this is. So excited for that one. The next 2 books that I have on my TBR are actually both romance books, which I'm so excited for. I feel like I'm very slowly re-entering my romance era, and these are both really highly anticipated authors that I have really high hopes for being like some of my favorite romance authors, so I'm so excited about them. The first one is Ready or Not by Cara Bastone, I think is how you say her name. I don't really know much about this book. First of all, the cover is so cute. Honestly, the cover for all of her books are so cute, and I am so excited to read this author. Honestly, she has a new book coming out next year, and that's the book of hers like out of the 3 that I want to read the most, but one, it doesn't come out until next year, and I don't know if I can get an arc of it. I requested it on NetGalley, but we'll see because my ratio is kind of not the best right now, but I figured I would read Ready or Not and Promise Me Sunshine first so I can read that book whenever it comes out. I don't think they're connected at all. My brain has decided that I should read those 2 before that one comes out. So that's what I'll be doing, hopefully. All I know about this book is that it is a surprise pregnancy. I almost said second chance marriage. They're not married. It's a surprise pregnancy. And that's all I know about this book. Honestly, I kind of want to go into it really blind because I more so have like heard a lot about like the author's writing style and how her writing and like her books are very deeply emotional. And I feel like for romances, I end up rating romance books higher and like being able to connect way deeper whenever there is a much more deeply emotional plot line and like connection between the characters. So that's why I'm so hopeful for this author and the next author. But yeah, I don't really know much else about the book besides the fact that it follows a surprise pregnancy, which I had never read before until I did pick up Out on a Limb a few days ago. I'm actually currently filming a reading vlog where I read books that you guys have recommended to me, so I did pick up that and a few others, but I am pretty far through that book. That is my first Hannah Bonham Young book, which that's the other author for the book that I'm about to get to. I feel like this is such an ADHD explanation, but anyway, I picked that up and that was the first ever like surprise pregnancy trope book that I've ever read, and I'm loving it so much so far. It's so good. So yeah, especially because I'm in the middle of that book and enjoying it so much, I'm very, very excited to get to this one. Which brings us to the next book, which is Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonham Young. I am so excited for this one, you guys. You have no idea. Mainly because my all-time favorite romance, Left of Forever, is also a second chance marriage book like this, and I have just been fiending for something similar to that book ever since finishing it. I talked about this. I don't know where I talked about this. I was talking about how it's been really difficult for me, honestly, to get back into romance books ever since finding a romance book that I just love so much. Like, it genuinely altered my brain chemistry to the point where, like, now every time I'm reading a romance book, like, I'll be enjoying it, but I'm comparing it to Left of Forever, and I'm like, it's just not as good. Like, it's not the same. Like, nothing is the same, and I feel like it's ruined a bunch of the romance books on my shelves because I'm like, yeah, like, this is cute and fun, but it's not hitting me deep. And like, that's why I say I feel like I need romance books that are like deeply emotional and like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, like, I just think the cute fluffy like rom-coms are not hitting the same for me after finishing Left of Forever, because I'm just like, it's not the same. Like, it's just not the same. So I have very high hopes that this might fill that void, the deep void that I'm feeling after finishing Left of Forever and having like nothing hit the same as far as like contemporary romance goes. I'm very excited. Literally all I know about this one is that they were high school sweethearts. They're going through a rough patch. I believe they are still married, but they're kind of like just drifting away from each other, and then they decide to go on a couples retreat in nature to try and like repair their marriage and grow closer to each other again. And I think that I just love second chance romance so much because I have been married for like 7 years at this point, and it's so true about how you have to like keep choosing your partner over and over again and like fall in love with new versions of the person that you married or the person that you fell in love with. And so there's something so special about reading about a married couple who are doing that actively. Like, they're choosing to keep trying and choosing to fix the issue and stuff like that. It hits so different. It's so good. I think that might be one of my favorite tropes in contemporary romance is second chance marriage. So I don't know. I'm so excited for this one though. Moving on, I have a couple of really cute fantasy books. The first one I have is Rewitched by Lucy Jane Wood. This is a book that I randomly found in Barnes & Noble. I just liked the cover. This one and then the one that comes after it, I thought that the covers were just so cute and cozy, so I ended up bringing them home with me. But the synopsis does sound really, really cute for this one as well. This one says, Belladonna Blackthorn hasn't lost her magical spark precisely, but she hasn't seen it in a while either. With her witchcraft under wraps and a toxic boss making her days miserable, Belle is struggling to keep her beloved lunar books afloat and just make it through the day. The last thing she has time for is perfecting her magic. So when her 30th birthday brings a summons from her coven and a trial that tests her worthiness as a witch, Belle fears the worst. With only the month of October left to either prove herself or risk losing her magic forever, Belle will need all the help she can get from the woman in her life, from an unlikely mentor figure, and even from an infringing coven watchman who's sworn to protect her. So I just thought that that sounded really, really cute, and the cover is just, it's so cute and cozy and fall. So very excited for this one. The next one that I have is A Witch's Guide to Fake Dating a Demon. This one I am so excited for. I've had the, I think, third book to this series on my physical TBR for forever, and then I ended up finding this one at Half Price Books. So I'm excited that I actually get to start with the first book in like the interconnected series, I guess. This one is basically about a witch who really enjoys baking, and she accidentally gets the recipe for something wrong, and she like accidentally conjures a demon, I believe, and then he's like stuck there because she conjured him. And then so it's kind of like a little enemies to lovers, but like she accidentally conjured him there trying to like bake, and I just think that that's so funny. So very excited to read this one. I don't really know much beyond that about this one, and I haven't seen, I don't think, any reviews on this series, so I don't know what to expect, if people like this, if people don't like this, but I'm really, really excited to give it a try because I feel like the premise of that just sounds so like unserious and funny, like not her literally baking him into existence. That's so funny. So very excited for this one. The last two books on our November TBR. First we have The Enchanted Greenhouse by Sarah Beth Durst, which I am so excited about because this is the book that comes after The Spell Shop by Sarah Beth Durst, and I ended up loving that book so much. The cozy vibes were absolutely immaculate. Honestly, after finishing that one, that really solidified for me that I do really like cozy fantasy. There's something about like being able to be in a fantasy world, which obviously I love, but being able to still be in that world without having to commit to like a super high stakes fantasy or like a really long fantasy series or something like that, because I do read a lot of really big and long fantasy series and also a lot of fantasy series that just have like such high stakes that it's like a little bit stressful. So I honestly have loved cozy fantasy books because it gives me that same feeling when I'm like craving being in a fantasy world, but I just don't have it in me to be like broken by like a super tragic fantasy book. Like sometimes that's what I need. I'm like, hey, I need to feel something. Could you crush my soul real quick and then like glue it back together, but it will never be the same. Sometimes I genuinely like I need that, you know, but sometimes I just need to be in a cute fantasy world and just be there and live there in all of its fantasy coziness. And I feel like that's what this series is. And I'm really excited because this book actually follows one of the, I mean, she was not like a character in the first book, but like she's briefly, very briefly mentioned in the first book in like the intro. So I'm really excited to get her story and really excited to just be back in this little world. So very excited about this one. And then the very last book on my November TBR is actually our book club book pick for November. It is Our Infinite Fate by Laura Steven. I am so excited for this one. I'm so glad that it won the vote. I have been looking forward to reading this ever since it came out, ever since I ordered it. And honestly, the only reason that I haven't read it is because I do that thing where like if I have a book that I am very highly anticipating and I think I'm gonna love, I just put it off forever and ever and ever. If you know how to stop that from happening, please let me know, because it is the most annoying thing that I do. Honestly, I have so many books on my shelves that I want to read so bad that it's making me not read them, and it's so dumb. Saying it out loud, it's so dumb, but I just still can't get myself to read it. Yes, Fearless, I am looking directly at you. Anyway, this book basically follows two people. It is like a story that travels through different lifetimes, and essentially it's about these two people who are destined to find each other, fall in love with each other, and kill each other in every single lifetime. But in this lifetime, the FMC, her younger sister in this lifetime, like needs her to survive in order for her to survive. And so because of that, she sets off to defy their destiny and end up surviving instead. And I guess you just follow that story, and I'm so excited for it because just like the concept of you and another person being destined to fall in love with each other and then be the reason that each other ends up dying in every single lifetime is so like beautifully tragic. And that sounds right up my alley. Beautiful tragedy. Rip my heart out and put it on a platter. It sounds so good. I'm so excited for this one. So if you do want to read this with us in the month of November, the link to the book club is always down in my description box below. We are going to be starting this on November 1st, and all the reading is split up throughout 4 weeks. And then at the end of each week, we do come together and have a discussion on what we have read in the previous week. And then at the end of the month, I do post a full spoiler reading vlog, reading the month's book club pick. So with all of that said, these are all of the books that I'm hoping to read in the month of November, my November soft TBR, all the books that I think I'll hopefully be in the mood to read and that sound really good. If you are interested in seeing reading vlogs for any of these books, make sure to subscribe if you have not already so you don't miss future content from me. But that is pretty much all I have for today's video. Don't forget to click the link in my description box to check out Book of the Month and get your first book for just $9.99 with the code FEAST. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I will see you in the next one. Bye!